Hey, Josephine Lacey's here.
Hello, hello.
All right.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's lovely. You
Yeah.
guys are great.
Second time over for the Craic Den.
Yep.
From
yep.
London.
Hopefully you'll be a regular little thing for me and
yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, well,
Think
you're
it
going
will.
to be doing your solo show in a couple of months here as well.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to that.
And the
Yeah.
Soho Theatre sold out, and you've got more in London.
Yeah, I'm back there May 9th and 10th for May. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
What's your
huge.
show about?
Autism, mama and puberty, so it's all in the title. Innit?
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
There better
so-
be puberty in the show. Oh, there
yeah,
it is.
so
There's puberty.
yeah, so really, it's just kind of like funny. It's like it's funny. It's a love story. It's like my son, obviously autistic. Basically, a teenager who pubescent who happens to be autistic, and like he's got sensory processing disorder. So like. He doesn't have an understanding. He went to bed and one day and woke up with this massive brown dick and didn't know what to do with it. Didn't know why he was the owner of this huge, and like things like that are in there. You
It's
know
almost
what I
like
mean?
it's a dream of most lads to wake up and have a big
Yeah.
brown dick.
Some people pay for that.
I
don't
know.
they?
Botox. No, we want scrotox. That's what we want.
Yeah. So, and just like all the hormonal stuff, and there's like stories and just things about what happened and how I supported him in getting to him to kind of understand his body and the changes. I don't want to say too much. They're going to need to come and see the show when I'm here.
Done
aren't they?
right.
Yeah. I have a brother who has Asperger's, autism, and it is a very different thing. Sexuality is a bit different for that person. Puberty is a bit
Yeah.
different because the rest of us are on a different journey of social interaction, whereas someone who has autism doesn't necessarily have the normal social skills, or they think completely differently, but they still have sexuality. So then they've got this it's a whole different hurdle. Like,
That's why the bio, the tiny little bio is if you want to hear a tale about a pubescent teenager who happens to be autistic. He's still going to go through those same feelings as every other teenage boy, but he's got no forward thinking. He's got, like you were saying about your brother, he's got none of those tools. And it's, heartbreakingly, the world doesn't fit around those kind of children. The world expects children to fit into our world when it should be the other way around, because we're in the know and they're not. So, yeah, he's going through the same as what you went through, but he's doing it differently. And I have to kind of guess, and I have great support. He had great support with the school, and they're in the show, and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
embarrassment is such a big thing when you're going through puberty.
Everything's embarrassing.
Everything's embarrassing. Probably because you don't know what is going on in your body and you don't know what the changes are. So then you're embarrassed by it. Or maybe this is that everywhere, or is that a more Catholic thing? I don't know.
No, well, funny enough, he went on this tip because he got all the facial hair and stuff, and he wanted to shave, and his skin for me was too young. I'm like, your skin is too young to be like doing that kind of treatment. And he has a respite facility that he goes to every other Friday. And just a few weeks ago, he came back with no facial hair.
Oh.
And he had told them that he wanted to shave. And he's 16. So I suppose, and he never told them the rule is at home that he can't shave. I'll trim it. Because he also has eczema, and he didn't like the reaction. So he's not getting that everyone develops differently. People have different skin types and stuff like that. So
And our sponsor this week is Gillette. Do the best shaving kits around.
The new 7-blade Gillette Mac
Regardless,
80.
the new neurodivergent Gillette blade.
not on my boy.
Do you know what's mad as well? You know how like young people, so I hear, like there's the pubes that they do not like pubes. That's the thing of the past. So we have vague memories. You see your dad walk past the hallway, whoever going on the shower. You just remember big hair. You just hairy, big cock and balls. But imagine if you saw your parent and they had no hair, because they'd removed it, right? Which is a normal thing to do. People don't like pubes anymore. It's gone. So then imagine that, and they haven't talked to you. Then you start growing hair there. You'd be like, what's going on with me? Like Teen Wolf. They think
I'm
a scene from Teen Wolf.
Pube wolf.
Pube Wolf. What are you doing in there? No, Dad. He opens the door, big hairy cock.
It's a full moon, Dad. Not.
He
The
asked
pubes
to
come
cut
out
his
in the
pubes.
full moon.
They're coming out his like trouser leg through his fly.
That's another thing. He asked to cut his pubes, and again, I was like, no. I mean, I didn't discuss mine. I'm a '60s baby. I'm full on '60s fucking bush. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I don't get why a grown ass woman wants to have a muff of a teenager. There is hair there for a reason. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what the tip is, what the fashion is. Like, there's hair trim, fine. I
Yeah.
never got all this runway lines and bikini line and you know, why would you go and pay to have is it the Brazilian with the run? And I'm like, there is no fanny out there that is expecting a 747 to land on a pussy.
Yeah.
Like, why? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's for
how did-
friction. It's for friction, isn't it?
How did it become a trend? That
I think it was American. I don't
porn.
know.
Is it porn?
I don't know. Because do you know what's weird? Women are making their eyebrows bushier. They want big, bushy brows, no pubes. It used to be the other way around.
And even that, but all eyebrows. Do you know how much I am complimented on my eyebrows?
Great eyebrows.
Because they're mine. I've always plucked them. I've never had threading. They've been the same shape. I just don't get that snail. Everyone's eyebrow in this generation looks exact. It don't matter what their face shape is, what their eye shape is, and it just don't look right. It don't look right on so many lasses.
Yeah,
just
like, I want
don't
her
know.
eyebrows. No, you should want your eyebrows.
Have for your shaped
Yeah.
face. I did a beauty course when I was a teenager, and we learn, and they shave from the top, and you're not meant to. That is your natural arch there. You're meant, and there's meant to be a diagonal line from your lip to the edge of your nose to the corner, and that's where your eyebrow is supposed to finish. And like, I just don't get it.
Do you pluck your eyebrows sometimes?
No, when I was younger, I did, I remember.
The middle bit.
Yeah, the mono.
middle-
I have a bit of mono.
No, I got rid of the
That
mono
I
bit, but I haven't
get.
for a long time. I haven't
Yeah.
for 20 years, I'd say. But I did. Then it was bright red. Like,
and
what's
then you
worse?
get those big ugly spots I used to get because I had that. But I think as you get older as well, you don't grow back hair as you did. Well, with me, I haven't. Like, I had really hairy arms and like legs, like, you know, Velcro, so my arms would stick together.
Like shoe straps. Oh, no, my arms are stuck to you. Josephine's always got her arms folded. No, they're stuck.
They're stuck,
like
they're
that.
intertwined.
She's got a real attitude problem. Jesus.
Just hairy.
I told her I loved her. She just crossed
Sat
out.
there with her arms crossed.
Over a bush. She's all tangled.
Knitted together.
Yeah. Man, keep the pubes.
So how long have you been doing
Anyway.
stand-up?
This October 23, the 26th of October will be 16 years.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What was
I
your
had
first
like-
one like?
Well, I did one of those comedy showcases where I did like, I ripped my first 5 minutes. Like, we went every Sunday for 3 hours, and then on the 7th week you performed it to a friendly audience, and yeah, it was like, we got it taped and I loved it, I must admit. Like, for a first gig it was really good, and but you could see the nerves. Like, I was discreetly trying to wipe my top lip. You could just see this sweat building on my top lip, and it was about how I found out my boy at the time. I didn't have my youngest, my 29-year-old. It's how when I found out that he was no longer a virgin and he was 15. And it was that story that I told, that I put into a routine. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the guy who run it, Keith Palmer, a lot of the other groups was going off and doing other, paying to do like improv and clown and stuff like that. And he said to me, he said, don't pay for any other kind of classes. He said, if you want to do this, just go out and do open mics. he said, like, you've got what it takes, but you have to find your comedy voice. And that was in 2008, but it wasn't until 2010 I decided I'm like, I need to make this as a career, because I was in that change then. 2009, my son got his diagnosis, and I was in a high-profile job running services for vulnerable street, homeless, drug addicts, crack houses, and stuff like that. And I just thought, I don't want a job in this position anymore, and then being a carer at home, it was too much. So, but I'm also dyslexic, so I didn't want to go back to college, never done uni. And I just thought, I had to sit down and think what I wanted to do. And I thought, well, food will always make money, but I didn't want to get up in the crack of dawn and open a working cafe. And I honestly thought, hand on heart, I even done a business plan to open a brothel. I thought, I did, stop it. I thought,
cafe or brothel?
Wait,
Jesus, choice. There's such a hard
What
choice.
kind
eat
of
food
froth
or
am
eat
I going to
pussy?
put on?
Do you know what I mean?
What do people eat all the
But
time?
no, but
Food and
I
pussy.
think I would make
Yeah,
a
you could call that your
brilliant
brothel.
madam.
Food and pussy.
I could do both. I get a breakfast roll.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I go,
But I think I would make a brilliant madam, in the sense of, like, I would look after my workers, my client. You know, they would be safe. I'm a woman itself, and then I thought I'd have a gay man. I'd have someone who don't mind, you know, like for the little kind of quirks. If a man wants to wear a nappy, I'll have a nanny in and all the rest of it. Do you know what I mean?
this is like a spreadsheet. You
I
gotta-
swear to you.
I love how before
I s-
before the business aspect, the rentals, you're like, well, let's lay out all the kinks first. Let's cater
I
to
just
every
thought
kink.
everything, and I thought I wouldn't even need a load of women. I thought a brunette, a redhead. I had it all kind of worked out.
Just one woman with wigs. Work her to the bone. Throw that nappy on and the red wig. Get to work again.
I'm telling
Mindy
you,
Nappy's back. Okay.
I had family members down who could do the front desk, who could do security, and I was just like, I had it all worked out. I had it all worked
Are
out.
you a bit bummed out that the comedy's doing really well?
But yeah, and then somehow, and then I turned 40, and I did the showcase, and then I did Edinburgh for the first time, 2010. Just a group of us just went up and did spots for people, open micy kind of spots, people who had booked us, but running around doing gigs every day. I said, yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
I can do this. And then I thought, if I'm successful, it will be a way in of securing my son's future. At that time, I didn't really know much about autism or how he was going to be. He was completely non-verbal. I just knew that it might be possible to make money at some point. And yeah, and it was good for my own mental health as well.
Does he have a particular passion in something? And
He's a savant for his musicality. I haven't said that. Professionals has deemed him a savant, and he's a genius in areas of mathematics.
oh wow.
So there is scope for him, but he's very particular who watches him play. He's really socially shy, socially awkward, but he's absolutely brilliant. I'm trying at the moment for him to agree for me to set him up a TikTok or Instagram, because when I post, the odd times he's let me quickly film him, and I've posted him. The comments have been amazing, and I show it to him, and I'm like, if you let me, now he's 16, I'm like, if you let me film you like maybe once a week, and if you tell people what you're playing and who the composer is, we can put it out there. And I'm hoping that will help him allow, like, not be so awkward when people watch him. Yeah.
Wow, that'd be amazing.
Good on ya.
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried about social media. Twice now in the last few days, I got messages on my Insta posts saying, so the people must have known that they're comedy videos, or if they're bots, I think they're bots, saying, oh wow, love your videos. Do you do any commissions? DM me. So the first one I said I do commissions. I wasn't going to DM them. I was like, you know, contact me if you want. Then they contacted me and said, oh, I'd love you to do a video for my son's birthday. I'll give you $200. I was like, what? Has this person come to a few shows? I don't know. I said, yeah, sure. And then they said, okay, great. He's 3 years old. I was like, 3 years old? Why? $200? You out of your mind? Get them Barney the dinosaur for the day.
Yeah.
What am I
Yeah.
going to, like a little video of me for 30
Yeah.
seconds? Are you out of your mind? But I was still like, well, they want to do it. $200. They want me to make a few jokes about Tom and Jerry. I'll do it. And then the all the kind of with the dialogue was weird, and I was like, this is all weird. And then I said, oh, you can pay me through PayPal if you like.
Or read out.
Oh yeah,
read
here's
out
what,
the
here's
actual.
what I got. Yeah, and I was suspicious. On top of this, then just before I was about to go through the payment, here's the message. Another person said on another video, really similar comment saying, "Love your videos. Do you do commissions?" Question mark. And I was like, twice in like 3 days, and I was getting suspicious at this point. I was like, damn it, like. Finally breaking through, finally getting commissions.
In your head, you'd already spent the money. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll get that new spotlight or that new speaker or something.
2 fucking bots. Anyway, this says, we're paying from Mickey's child saving account. This is how they're talking about how I'll get paid. It doesn't support third-party accounts. It's a check, but you can just print it and make a mobile deposit with your bank app. It should reflect immediately. Just log into your bank app. You'll see a check deposit option where you can scan the front and back of check. I'll contact his account manager. It's just like when you hear that kind of shit, you're
What
like,
does that even-
Why would a 3-year-old have an account manager? What is he sponsor Pampers or something?
yeah.
We'll get onto his savings account and Mickey's
I
bank.
ignore them all. I don't get commission ones. I do get dodgy, but they go into my request messages, and I just delete them. I do read them and I don't respond. I don't accept them. I just delete them. And I had a few similar on my son's piano playing ones. I'll post it onto our page. And the first one, like you, I thought, like this might help him. And then I messaged them something and they were like, then there was this fee to post on it. And I was just like, sod that
I was
shit.
waiting for the fee
Yeah.
thing.
And
to
then
come
I
up.
saw this on my friend's Instagram, Zoe Danahy, on her story. So she said, so apparently there's an AI robot pretending to be me and calling people asking for a job reference, question mark. So this is just a PSA. I'm telling people that I am not applying for a job at a nursery. And then, welcome to the dystopian future, I guess. So like AI robots are kicking big time into social media. I don't know, there's a lot of fishy stuff going on right now with the new AI shit that's come out.
As long as you just
People-
ignore all the comments of people you don't know.
Yeah,
that-
that's what
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
It's just like like emails with links. Do you know what I mean? Just ignore 'em. My son's been conned a couple of times, and he got conned the other day as well. And I'm just like, I've told you, even if it's a friend, message your friend first and ask if they've sent you. Then why would they? He sent he wasn't working one time. And he got this link for the taxman owed him money. I'm like, why would the taxman owe you money? You've not done a striking job in 2 fucking years. Why would the taxman? Where's your common sense, sir?
Well, they owe me money. Brilliant. Thanks, tax.
Yeah, from where?
Yeah,
From
yeah.
where? What have you earned?
Yeah.
So like, they do. And I also was told, like, you're more susceptible with the more friends that you have, like the bigger your account. So I don't know, have you got like thousands of friends on your...
Well, that was on Instagram. So yeah, I've got a few followers. Yeah.
Yeah, how many followers have you got?
3,100.
Yeah, so like I was told that you're more susceptible with the more followers that you have, Facebook, Instagram and that kind of stuff.
It's amazing, right? Because we're not online on socials compared to some of our other comedy mates.
Like
we're
15K,
small fries.
yeah,
Imagine
like
if you
me.
get 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. Like, what are their inboxes like and DMs
Constant.
like? It must be hundreds of that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Hundreds. You'd have to delete all of them.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts. Although, speaking of, this will be a good way to get into. We put out any embarrassing stories that people have, and just the other day on Insta, and I got one, Eddie got one, and then we'll maybe tell some of our own. Is that cool? Like these are only little ones, right? So Rebecca, she was here the other week. I remember because we were chatting afterwards. She was here with her husband and a friend. So okay, all I said in my Insta story was like, "What's your most embarrassing moment?" Right? And she just says, "My most embarrassing moment was when I was with my vegetarian friend in a cafe. Good, and the waitress bought us our sandwiches. Right, standing right beside us at the table, holding both plates. The waitress says, 'Ham,' right? for some unknown reason, I raised my hand up in the air, like right up, and I said very, very loudly, "I am the ham," in caps, she says. Everyone just stared at me in the cafe. I don't know what happened that day. My brain was broken.
Neurodivergent.
Neurodivergent. I am the ham. I should ask, are you still friends with that vegetarian of yours? Friend of yours? Cool.
Well, Monica sent to the Crackdown Insta. She's a regular at the club. So this is her embarrassing moment. I was asked by security at the train station to delete a picture I had just taken of the time schedule. It's an anti-terrorist measure, apparently. They wanted to make sure I deleted it, so I had to literally do it in front of them, except I forgot to delete the previous picture. That was my ex-boyfriend's dick pic.
Is that the departure board we were talking about?
Oh, wrong schedule. Whoops. Anti-terrorist measures. Delete the time schedule. Why can't you take a picture of a time schedule?
Here's the ham. Here's the ham.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, maybe his dick was also a lethal weapon.
It could have
So,
been. It
like-
could have been. just running with it out, screaming.
Security are like, hey, I know that dick. Delete that
Delete
picture.
that dick. The
It
terrorism.
shoots bullets, live bullets.
Oh, speaking of dicks, Kigo, who is a comic from Bray, he says, real quick one, I broke my penis on a cinema door on the first date I ever had. He says it's all been downhill from there.
Well, why wasn't his dick in his pants?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the other
that
question.
story
Why
doesn't,
was your
uh,
Maybe it
dick?
was a porn cinema. Maybe they were like,
Maybe it was a brothel cinema.
maybe it was downstairs somewhere.
Maybe it
Some
was
sleazy.
a separate business venture of yours.
And your penis is further out
And
than
I'm
your
sure
knees.
it can only break when it's erect, innit? When it's
That's
all
true.
soft.
It's soft, it's
Yeah,
not
that's
breaking.
true.
It's
It
just
doesn't
kinking.
break.
It's like
It's- yeah.
Play-Doh when it's soft. I mean, you're not going to
Yeah.
have...
Yeah, I think Kigo was definitely erect walking into that cinema door.
Yeah.
There's no way it would have. His banjo string would have sort of twanged. When it,
Yeah. There's something going on there.
Yeah. There's a few-
We need to
there's-
find a lead up to that
Yeah,
story.
there's major
Yeah.
plot holes there. You can't
Yeah.
lead us
Yeah.
with that. You got
Yeah,
Yeah.
he forgot to say, like, so I was wanking heaps in the car park. Then my
Yeah,
date
yeah,
arrived,
yeah,
and then I
yeah,
ran up to her.
I
and
was
the door
running away from
slammed on.
security. And then,
After they saw my penis on a photo that my friend showed.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, you said you had a embarrassing
Oh,
moment that you've never
man.
told anyone before as a joke?
Well, all it was really, right, we were on holiday and we were packing to go home, so it was the end of the holiday. So I was packing away, I was bent over, oh man, and so I was in the hotel, I was in our room, bent over, packing a suitcase, and I had whatever I had on, but I didn't have no drawers on. And I was bending over, and I released what I thought was just wind. But as I broke wind, wet poo came shooting out of my anus. But this is the...
in case
it
of doubt.
landed, listen to this, the way it landed exactly on the stripper zip of the suitcase in the line, so like, and I thought I had farted, and it weren't until the fart came out I thought that wasn't just a fart. And I turned around and I couldn't see the mess. I was like, I could have swore something came out with that fart. And the person I was with looked horrified. And their eyes, 'cause they must have saw it come out. So I'm looking, I'm like, I know something came out. And when I looked down, it literally was just along the zip. It was just like, I had to meticulously clean off the zip tooth by tooth, right? So I didn't go through customs with a shitty zip on my suitcase.
It'd be easy to spot when it's coming around the conveyor on the other side.
Which is mine? Oh, that's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
shitty zip over there.
Yeah. I don't need the label, it's just the one that smells of shit.
Man, I've never heard any story like that.
And like, there's loads of stories with my son, but I wouldn't call them embarrassing. It was just like, you know, one time we were in the supermarket and he is pubescent and he just froze. He stood still and he just said in his loudest voice, "Can I get my penis out?" And I was like, oh dear God, what do I? Because, you know, like, when he does something for the first time, it's the first time it's happened to me. I've not had this experience, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I know everyone heard this. I just know, and I didn't. And I just looked at him. I said, "No, you can't get your penis out." And he was like, "Why? It's hard." I was like, "Oh dear Lord." And like, I just did what I figured every other parent would do, and I just tried to hide behind the trolley. And I was just like, ah. But like, again, it's not embarrassing. It's just like, it is what it is. But like, I go through loads of stuff.
At
like
least he has
that
the
with my
decency
son.
to ask. You know, some
Yeah.
people in the comedy industry didn't.
They were just
Whip it
kidding around.
out.
They don't ask.
Whip it out. So you're not getting cancelled if you ask first. That's the only
It's part of my show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a mad thing, though, that you have to learn as a child. It's not appropriate to get your penis out because
Yeah.
until there's a point when growing up, your penis is always out, and then you have to somehow internalize.
Yeah.
You don't get your penis out anymore.
Yeah.
And he was just understanding that in public in a supermarket.
Well, he does a So Safe program. He's part of a So Safe program where it's, to try and get him to understand how to safeguard himself and to respect other people's safeguarding space. And he seems to be really good at dialogue now, at keeping his safe space, but he's not good at coming into your space. So that's the bit. So he understands his, but he doesn't transfer that into I equally have the right to that safe space. So like he will come into the bathroom without knocking. He doesn't knock coming into my room. He'll ask females. Like he has randomly gone up to, and granted, like rightly so, but he has told women that they've got nice breasts, and like they just like look, and like I'm like, oh, like really sorry. I said to this one woman once, I'm really sorry, but my son has spatial awareness issues. namely the space between him and your titties. Because my first thing, like, sorry, he's autistic. I never really kind of like just say stuff like that. Maybe I should, but like, why explain him away?
Just saying he's got spatial awareness issues could be taken up.
To see like he's extra special, and not just that, he's being managed. My son doesn't run around feral. Like, I've seen neurotypical children act more dysfunctional than what my son does. And the parents are sitting there drinking, smoking, and they don't know what their child is doing, running around ragged. But my son is managed. You can see I'm there with him. So if you haven't got the common sense to see, oh, all right, then there's something a little untoward there.
Yeah.
So I never say, oh, sorry, please forgive him, he's autistic. I don't say that.
Yeah.
I don't say
Yeah,
that.
I think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Spatial awareness, and your boobs are in his space.
And like, you got cracking boobs.
Cracking
like,
boobs.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you just high five him. Darn right, she does.
He's never said it to a woman who's got like fried eggs. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, her
He can
friend
spot
next
them.
to her is like, "What about mine?" Sorry, you didn't
sorry,
say.
I didn't say him.
He's got a overly honest disorder.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I
Because there
might
is a bit of
use
truth
that.
to that about
Yeah.
people with autism, because they just don't hold back a lot of the time their
Yeah.
thoughts. I find with my brother, and having met other people who are autistic, a big thing of it is they sometimes they struggle to put themselves into other people's shoes. You know,
Yeah.
to see it from another person's perspective.
Yeah.
On a kind of quick basis that comes naturally to most of us. You know, you assume, oh, that's what that person is thinking, or
Yeah.
don't do that because
won't say
they
that
just
'cause I
don't
wouldn't
see.
like
They just don't see it. So then they say, you've got cracking tits.
Yeah.
Because they don't see any problem. They don't see
Yeah.
how another person might feel. None of those things come across their mind. So they just.
I mean, when he was younger and looked like a child, you could see the funny side. But now, like, he's 6'2", he's got facial hair. And if someone doesn't take that moment to think, aha, and he says it to someone and she's with her boyfriend, do you know what I mean? I worry that, like, what if someone tries to crack him one or something like that? That's never happened, and I hope it never does. But yeah, it has shifted now to it being a bit more, oh, guess what he did today? To like, oh Lord, I hope this doesn't happen today or something like that.
You're a regular host at Top Secret?
I've got a residency every Friday and Saturday for the Late Late Show.
Nice.
Yeah, like,
Top Secret Comedy Club London. If you haven't been
Yeah.
already.
Great club.
yeah, it's brilliant.
It's
It's my
tops.
favourite.
Mm.
It's my
And they've got
favourite.
their own socials as well, and your clips
Yeah.
come up a lot on there, obviously, because
Yeah,
ripping into the crowd. You must have fun, just like
yeah, I do like the banter.
MC is crucial, especially for late night shows like that, because
Yeah.
you're setting that dynamic.
Yeah,
And if you don't get those fucking people in line and
Yeah.
in the right just frame of mind for it,
yeah.
it can be an unholy ruckus for
Yeah.
everybody.
I mean, once I tell them my clitoris is bigger than any cock in the room, they kind of get the message. I'm like, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
loved having you over the last time you were here, and because I'd never seen your set or anything before, and when someone comes in and has a completely fresh, I hadn't, that style, you just own the room instantly, and coming in with that energy, and it's great because it could just changes the dynamic instantly, and everyone is just like, okay, we're in
Yeah.
we're in this space now, all right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, like when an act is on stage, the minute as you'll know, the minute a comedian steps onto a stage and picks up a mic, you are subtly telling a whole room, shut the F up, I'm going to make you laugh. And it's a powerful statement. Without saying a word, I think that's what you need to own. You need to own that. It's my office. The minute, whether it's a raised stage, whether you're on the same level, and I love being on the same level. I love having the front row in arm's reach of me. I love intimate rooms. I love this room. I'm in my element in them. When I'm on a raised stage, it's great work, but it's not for me. It's not got the same intimacy. It's not like I can touch them and grab them and look them dead in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I love it. I love that kind of nearness to them.
Yeah, and you feel it's the fact that you can reach out and just grab their shoulder if you want,
Yeah.
and do.
Or
It's
their
great.
phone, if they have the cheek. Someone took their phone out the other day and was just like messaging, and I just took the phone. And like, oh, like who, like right in front of me, really? Oh, I was just answering the message. Go out the back then, and then like we were reading the message, and I tried to call the person. And he was like, it's a work thing. And I'm like, will you get the sack? And he was like, I don't know. And we carried on. The person didn't answer. So,
I got
but
something.
yeah, it just brings so many things can happen.
There's quite a lot of comedians who are autistic. Quite a few.
Yeah.
Um,
Or say they are.
Or say, yeah.
Say they are, 'cause they got some good jokes about
I
it.
think some just like acting like a CUNT, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot on the and it's a lovely, the fact that and there are some that I've watched, and I do watch them, and I think I really hope that one day my son can play in a room with this amount of people watching him. It does fascinate me that they can do that, and like autistic comedians who are in relationships, and I just think, I hope my son has that one day, can share himself with someone on a one-to-one like that. But yeah, I do admire it, and I do, yeah.
It's hard to, it's like my brother as well, in the crowd, he would freak out,
Yeah.
Can't handle crowds for any extended period, even for a short time. He gets, and it's so hard to empathize sometimes, because you're like, it affects his mood so much that you're going for a coffee. If the cafe is just a little bit too busy, or something's off with the cafe, he'll sit down. He's like, no, I don't want to be here. I want to go. And then you're like, we just fucking got, this is the second, third cafe we've gone to get a fucking coffee. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't want to be here. And he stands up, and you're like, oh my God. It's so hard to keep your cool. You're like, yeah, cool, whatever.
We'll
cafe.
go drink in a field. It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. You gotta really kind of like hold in patience,
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's their fucking sensory, that's their experience. It's not fucking personal. And yeah.
The other day we were out and about, so again, supermarkets is really hard for Callum and things like that. And we were running an errand, and I said, should we go and get something to eat? I was starving. He likes restaurants and stuff, and he doesn't have a lot of junk food. And he said he wanted McDonald's, and he wanted to go to this. He wanted to see, they'd closed this McDonald's in Wandsworth, and they've put it somewhere else. But on Google Maps, it still says open inside Southside. So he wanted to see, even though he knew it was closed, he wanted to see if Google was lying. They were his words. And I was like, but there isn't anything really there that I can eat. So
I feel like I've done that a few times as well, though.
Yeah.
You know, if someone tells you, no, that's definitely closed. You're like,
Yeah.
but Google says.
Yeah.
You're like, I need to go and see this. Like,
Say this myself.
yeah, because I like, you know,
But he knew it was closed. Like, we've been in that shopping centre so many times.
Okay.
And the new one that's open is just on the high street, right? So I said, all right then, let's go. And we went there and it was closed. And I said, all right then, so can we go to get something to eat? And he said, I want McDonald's. And I said, but, you know, like, Mummy don't eat McDonald's. And he said, well, you can watch me eat. And by then, right, and, you know, I lost my appetite. And I got this stubbornness about me, just like, and I feel awful when it happens. And I was just like, all right then, Mummy will starve and watch you eat, right? And we went to McDonald's and I just thought at some point it's going to click that Mummy needs to eat, and he'll turn around and he'll say, all right then, let's go somewhere else. And no, we went to McDonald's and Mummy watched him eat while my belly was rumbling. And I was just like, yeah, and it is comical, but I get what you mean. There was just this frustration that just thought, like, just for once, can we just do like this shared thing?
Yeah.
Like this, just today, can we do it? And I sometimes think he senses how much I want that, and just says, no, fuck it, Mum. No, I'm going to be ultra autistic today. And like, because sometimes also as well, I think, do you know what? This isn't one of the most frustration things about, and I know so many parents that blame everything their child does on the autism. Like, he's like this today because he's autistic. Oh, he's got a pimple on his bum today because he's autistic. No, he's got the pimple on his bum because he didn't wash his ass properly is why that pimple is there. Do you know what I mean? I just don't, you know, sometimes my son is being a shit. It's got nothing. No, it's true. It's not like, yes, he's autistic and he's always autistic, but he does have a sense of mind that sometimes he's being a shit.
Yeah.
He's made the decision.
Yeah, because we've all been shits and we don't all have autism.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't.
He's not like not being a shit, that you don't lose that just because he's autistic. There is an element of him, and like, that's, can I say it? Cuntish.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
Yeah.
And like, I would not say that if it were, I'm his mother, I love him. I've got 3 children, he's my heartbeat. I love him above the other 2. I'll always will. But that's the truth.
Yeah.
And I think you have it's better in your own heart. You can live with it better if you just admit and own some of those things. Otherwise, you just banter into the autism and it will drain you.
That would be a good ad for McDonald's, though, wouldn't it? Because a lot of parents don't want to go to McDonald's. The kids love McDonald's. You know? It'd be like a little argument between a mother and a child. The child's like, I want to go. Well, I'm starving. I can't go to the. Well, Mummy can watch me eat. And then cut to McDonald's, and the kid is just having a great time, and Mummy's just like, fuck's sake.
Yeah, and the kid's like,
McDonald's,
I'm loving it.
yeah, I'm loving
I'm
it.
loving it.
It's like, I'm not.
Yeah.
Tommy Rumble.
Yeah.
But then, you know, the other day, last week, we went to a lovely Thai restaurant for lunch, and when we left, I said, that was really nice, weren't it? Like, did you? And he said, yes, that was very nice. And I was like, my belly was full, his belly was full, and it was lovely.
Hey, Thai
So-
food.
And speaking
Yeah.
of full, we've got a full comedy club very shortly.
gotta
Yeah, we got to open the doors for the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the early
Cool.
show.
Thanks, you. So, big shout out to our sponsor, Raw Beer. Not Gillette, as formerly mentioned. You're not shaving. You can shave your pubes if you want, but
Yeah.
make sure you're drinking Raw Orange Lager while you do it.
Raw craft lager, tastiest stuff around from Wicklow.
Wicklow brewed. Oh, it's crisp. It's fresh. It's delicious. Raw Beer. RI fodder. RA fodder. Right?
Yes. If you do
Other
you know what a
ones,
fada is?
I've heard it.
It's a little accent on top of a
Oh, of
vowel.
course, don't
The
mind.
little thingies that change the yeah.
Stop it, because
No, but in fairness, it's an Irish. I think every language like they have their own. Was it French?
Well, my middle name is Josephine. My Christian name is Neve.
No,
yeah.
I didn't know that. You're
Yeah.
Neve.
I'm Neve Josephine.
You're Neve.
Yeah.
So
But
you've
I
got a
did-
fodder on Neve?
Yeah, I've got it over the I, and then there's 2 dots over the M, and then if you're a bit older, you spell Neve with the B, which I don't. I just spell it with the H.
The
Yeah.
MH.
NIAMH.
Yeah.
So there's 2 dots
Yeah,
over the
that's
M and the dash
Neve.
over the I.
Hey, Neve.
Yeah.
Neve Josephine Lacey, everybody.
Neve Josephine Lacey, drink a raw beer.
If you're in or around London, you can go Top Secret every
Top
weekend.
secret. Top
But
secret.
mainly
every
Soho
weekend.
coming up.
Soho show, Autism, Mama and Puberty, 9th and 10th of May, 9 p.m. And I've only got about 30 tickets left for each show.
Nice. And luckily,
Yeah.
if you're in Dublin, you'll bring that show here soon,
Yeah,
later in the year.
Yeah.
So keep your eye out for that.
Early autumn, post about it. Yeah.
Nice one. Josephine Lacey. Neve
Thank you,
Josephine
Frank.
Lacey.
Fantastic. Thank you, Josephine.
Bye.